Jake, I got a very nice compliment from a French mathematician.
What?
Your comedy show. Yeah, very cool. I'm still on the Never Say Die tour. 18 nights, was 20 shows, 5 states, now 21 shows. Because
Wow.
I was on a theater show and the headliner booked me on a second show last night. So I had to do 2 shows. Although I think one night where I'm doing 2 shows might get canceled. So we might be back down to 20 shows. But anyways, this French mathematician, after the show, I'm selling merch. They want to take pictures with me. They're buying stuff. And he makes these graphs. And he goes, we come to this club all the time. I'd done a 25-minute feature set.
Yeah.
And he says, usually it's like host, feature, and then an asymptotic curve. If you can't see this or you don't know what asymptotic is, it's like a hockey stick up to the headliner. The headliner's like clearly better than the other 2 acts. I guess they always do host, feature, headliner at this club. And he said tonight it was more of like the inflection point was from host to feature, and the feature and the headliner were basically the same.
Wow.
Which I thought was very nice. And he had a lovely French accent. And I said like 4 words of French to him, très bien, something like that. And he said something I did not understand in French, and it was really nice. So that was kind of cool, something different.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Wow,
Yeah.
dude, I have a weird relationship with the French language.
Okay. Tell me more. I would say that in French, but I don't know how to. Dime mas.
So I had to pass a foreign language proficiency exam as part of the PhD process. And I knew that this is something that I was not going to enjoy. So I'm going to do it very first thing. As soon as I was accepted in the PhD program, that was the first thing that I did is do this proficiency exam in French. So I did.
So is the logic that like if I can't get over this hump, I'm never getting the PhD anyways, so I do all the other work?
Yes.
Yeah. I like that. You're attacking the most difficult problem first.
The most difficult problem, the part that I'm not looking forward to. There's a lot of the PhD process that is very fun, very interesting. This is not.
Okay.
I wanted to just get it out of the way. And so the way that it works is I had to prove that I could read and translate French. But never pronounce it. I never had to pronounce a single word in French.
Okay.
And so
free bean.
Exactly. So when I'm pronouncing it in my mind and trying to like work out the verb uses and the words, whatever, I just pronounce it as harsh as an English as I could. So like trace bien, like I'm just saying it ridiculous. Phonetically.
You're hooked on phonics at the PhD level.
Yeah.
You have a doctorate in hooked on phonics.
I could care less if I sound like a buffoon because no one will ever listen to me.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is so in order to pass.
Can I ask a question? What level? Like, are you reading Le Petit Prince, or are we reading like? Is this like adult level?
So it's you have
middle
to
school.
It's more like technical level. It's like above adult. It's like
it's Bible level.
Well, the classes were through the University of Arkansas. So these particular, so I had to do French and then I had to do German.
Arkansas, well known for its French diligence.
Exactly. So I had to do all of these homework assignments, just dozens and dozens of homework assignments.
So actually, isn't Arkansas kind of close to Louisiana on a map?
Yeah.
It could have been part of France at one point.
Yeah. So not too bad. Yeah. But it's a university. They could hire a French person or two, so it's not out of the question.
Yeah.
But the exam was translate this paragraph into English, and it was this technical. It was more scientific than anything. It was like by tornadoes or whatever, and there was like this little paragraph in a scientific article that you have to translate into English. Now, you're not allowed to use Google Translate, but you are allowed to use an online dictionary an online French English dictionary, and there was like 2 or 3 that were approved.
Okay.
And this was not a very long paragraph, and they gave you like an hour and a half. And so
the bar is actually pretty low on this.
The bar was a lot lower than I expected going
in.
And basically, you pass this one exam.
What do they call this again? They don't call this proficiency, do they?
They call it a reading proficiency exam. So it's not like I would never claim that I know French, but the idea is like, are you able to?
They're checking your English reading.
Are you able to get something into English? If you absolutely had to, could you? Like, okay. And it never came up. I wrote my dissertation, never had to use English, never had to use French or German.
Did you get to choose the language, or did everybody have to do French? Okay.
I chose the language. I wrote my dissertation on a guy named Charles Spurgeon. He died in France. That's why I chose French.
Okay.
He wrote exclusively in English.
Okay.
But I did I'm doing the exam. I got so good at copy paste. I put every single word. I could only do one word at a time, but every single word.
So you wouldn't mess up. Yeah.
So I would just like make sure I get it. I have an hour and a half, this little tiny paragraph. Let's do this thing. You know, as I'm doing it, there's somebody like on my screen that they can see me. They're like using the webcam to online proctor this thing.
Right.
And I passed. So
yeah, great. So if you do it literally word by word, I imagine at least in English that wouldn't work 100%. You wouldn't get like an A+.
No. You would still. I still had to smooth things out. I still had to know constructions and know. And it didn't necessarily give you it would give you the root word and not like the endings and all of this other
like the conjugations of verbs.
Yeah, and stuff wouldn't be. So I had to do something. Yeah, but at the same time, they were like.
Was it just a test, or was there like a class in this?
There was a class to it. I had to do 15 weeks of homework, so I had to do a bunch of homework.
Nice.
So it was more than nothing, but it was at the same time I'm like, wow, okay, that was easy. I'm glad I got that out of the way, because I would have just dreaded it. I would have just looked past it and like, golly, never gonna do this. So
yeah. So I'm still on tour. Last we talked, I was in Medford, Oregon, and I think I had done one show. Had I done both shows or one show? One show. Second show was a banger. So fun. Except the World Series was going on.
Yeah.
And the World Series is Game 7. Friday night was Game 6. That was Halloween. Game 7 on Saturday night. Did you have a show that night?
No.
No, yeah, you're lucky, because it went extra innings. It should have ended during the feature spot. I got on stage in the middle of the 10th inning. Yeah. And unlucky for me, this venue is a sports bar. Yeah. So there's like, I'm in the restaurant portion of the sports bar, but there's no door connecting to the sports bar. So every time anything exciting happens, it interrupts the comedy on stage, because you hear the hooting and hollering, and everybody in the restaurant wants to know what happened. And so I had a very strict rule that I imposed on the showroom, many of which were kind of watching for updates on their phone. I was like, I don't want to hear any updates from the showroom. I will, when I'm ready, I will ask the bar, hey, what happened? And so a couple times, there was an exciting out, or when it ended completely finally and the Dodgers won, it was quite memorable. It was a very interesting confluence of sporting events and comedy. I had something awful happen at this show, though. They did not seat the front center at all. So it's like a 80-person room. There are about 25 people there, and they're all in the like eaves in the corners. Yeah. And one table in the back center. And I talked to the like host, he was like a temporary host. The real host was at a comedy club that weekend, he's great, the regular host. And I was like, hey, can we try and get some people in these tables? And he's just like, what am I going to do? It's hard. How do I get people on those tables? I don't know. And then so he's like, you could ask the staff. And so I'm like, all right, well, I'll take it. I'm the headliner. I guess I have some responsibility here. So I asked the staff. The staff is a little better. They're like, well, we could ask some people. We'll see what happens. We could ask some people. And nobody wanted to move. And shockingly, because they were like, would you want to move to this front center table? And so obviously people are saying no. And so then, we're 40 minutes into the show and I go on stage, middle of the 10th inning, a game 7 of the World Series, and there's nobody in the center. So I'm going to like break my neck looking right and left for almost an hour doing comedy. And so I just asked from stage. I took the first like 2 to 3 minutes of my set to rearrange the room from stage. And people were very cool about it. They came up to the front, and it ended up being a super fun show. And I sold a bunch of merch. I sold out of my books, possibly forever. We've talked about this before. I might not print anymore until I get the second book written. Which I'm actually thinking about framing the second book around that night's show.
Okay.
So like the narrative of the book will be like I arrive at the show and then I tell some story about being in comedy. And then there's an update about the show. And the show starts with like the empty tables because there's tons of drama in this show and basically weaving in the World Series. Like, because there's like, it's exciting. It was a historic World Series. It was like the most exciting World Series ever. And particularly the game 7 was the most exciting ever with lead changes and extra innings. And it was really exceptional. Although I still haven't seen it finished. So anyways, that was super fun. And shout out to Medford, Oregon. Just a beautiful place. That day I went for a trail run. People love to make fun of Medford. It's gorgeous. They got this Rogue River up there. I drove like 15 minutes from my hotel, and it was like I might as well have been in Aspen, Colorado. I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. The leaves were changing. It was gorgeous. It was very wet. Man, does it rain up there. A lot of rain. But
it's weird. You're talking about moving people during the show. I had a show. It was in July. I remember it was the date, July 3rd or something like that. And it's an open mic, so who cares? It's not going to be a great show. The guy that runs it is out of town, so he had me host it. So I don't like hosting open mics, but I'll do this guy a favor. And the people sat themselves, and it was at a comedy club, but they sat in the normal, just like you could describe, that little horseshoe pattern where nobody's near the front.
Right.
And early in, after my set, because they all come in late too, is the whole thing. One of the comedians, I thought, did a great job of like, hey, let's get closer, and it'll be a better show for everybody. And the people actually moved. I'm like, this is fantastic. I didn't think they would do it. And then they go. And then every comic after that just bombed. It was awful. I mean, they were doing a lot better when they were sitting in the back. I'm like, what is happening here? Now, one of the things that were happening is they asked from the stage, so like the question, when comedians ask the question and they don't care about the answer, they're going to do the joke no matter what.
Okay.
The joke, like, hey, who likes dogs? And so
let me interrupt you there. Last night I did a second show. We'll talk about how I did a second show. It wasn't scheduled. And in the middle of my set, I said to this lady, I said, hey, do you want to hear about a cult? Because I was kind of like losing them. The show had been going on for too long. It was like an hour and 40 minutes in. And so I wanted to like get the audience re-engaged. So I said to this, women love this. I have this thing where I go into a bit now where I say, I just got out of a cult. And like, especially women get so excited. Oh, I want to hear about a cult. I'm so excited about a cult. So I took a chance on a white woman in a front row in a mostly black room, and it failed because she said no.
you did the joke.
And then she goes, oh wait, is it a sex cult? Maybe if it's a sex cult, but no.
But yeah.
Oh man, she really so you can't exactly you can't always go right into the thing depending on what the crowd says.
Yeah, but it's one of these things where you're expecting the one answer, and this guy, people were asking not one specific person. That's a bold move, but they're asking like the whole audience, like who likes weed? That was the question.
Yeah, okay.
Who likes weed? And they're like the the group that moved, the biggest group in there, was like, nope. They were like some sort of addiction counselors, and they're like,
yeah, sure.
it, and there's not everybody shares the
They work for Orkin.
Yeah. And they're not into it.
That's
and
the
so
side company.
and then so they say no. I swear 4 more comedians who were not paying attention did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you guys
That's classic. I've seen that so many times. The craziest example of that I ever saw was in San Diego, and somebody did an Amelia Earhart joke, like 2 to 3 minute long Amelia Earhart joke. And 3 comics later, somebody did a minute of Amelia Earhart material. And it kind of ate it. And the guy got mad on stage, and it was eating it because he didn't realize somebody had already done Amelia Earhart material. Who would think
you do Amelia? Yeah, that's crazy.
Jake, you got to back up for the video viewers. Are you drinking straight apple cider vinegar?
Apple cider vinegar, man.
Straight. You're just chugging that. No, it's water.
It's water. I drink a little splash every morning.
Yeah, okay.
And then it's a glass bottle.
Yeah.
So then I fill it with water, put it in the fridge, and then
nice
and cold.
Nice.
So yeah, to end the story though, this big group, then they leave, and I'm walking with them in the parking lot, and they were like, hey, we actually liked the show. I don't know why everybody thought we didn't like the show. We had a good time, but do you have a Band-Aid? I was like, what? And when we moved tables, I broke my toe. Like, what are you talking about? So they moved because they moved in the middle of the show. It's dark in there. They moved tables, and one of these women wearing sandals or something breaks a toe and is kind of like not in the greatest mood to laugh now for the rest of the show.
That's crazy. Oh, geez. We're kind of jumping all over the place, but this is just like 2 nights ago. I did a show in Oakland, California, and it is about the Amelia Earhart thing, like random material. Somebody did a Chris Herren joke. Do you have any idea who Chris Herren is? No, super obscure. I've been to 10,000 comedy shows. I've never seen a Chris Herren joke. He was an NBA player. He grew up in Fall River, Massachusetts, and he had a crippling heroin addiction, even when he was playing, like in college and in the NBA. Wow. And has had a very tough life, but now he's like a motivational speaker. He's clean, etc. So this kid who grew up near him did this joke, and he starts out with some crowd work. He says, has anybody heard of Chris Herren? Now, I know Chris Herren. I've watched the 30 for 30 documentary. He played for the Celtics. I'm excited about Chris Herren. I almost never respond because I'm a comedian when somebody asks something on stage, but I go, woo, I'm all excited. Chris Herren, yeah. And the comedian goes, well, that guy looks like Chris Herren's father. Which may or may not be funny to you, but then I immediately Google during his set, how old is Chris Herren? Same age as me. So 2-3 comics later, I get up on stage. The first 2 minutes, I just explained to everybody, how bad do you have to look to be the same age as somebody with a crippling heroin addiction?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And to be described as looking like his father. We're the same age. What are you talking about? That's terrible. How bad do I look?
Oh man. Dude, that's a rough one.
Oh, the worst. The worst. No. Great. Man. That was a fun show. Oakland, shout out to Deadass Comedy in Oakland. Yeah. Great food at Two Pitchers Brewing from Lovely's Burgers. They just that was a funny show because there wasn't like a very big audience, and we're like at that show, it's a very busy brewery, and we're in like a side room that's more like outdoors, but it's covered.
Yeah.
And there's like, a dozen people at the comedy show, but like 100 people elsewhere in the brewery. Yeah. And most of them are it's the night that Proposition 50 passed in California. And there's a party for like people who, I don't know, They were out polling, or what do you call it? Advocating. What's the word I'm looking for? The verb.
Advocating sounds good.
Advocating. Yeah, they're advocating for Proposition 50. They're rallying. I don't know. And they're excited. And you can tell from the comedy room that somebody's giving a speech, because while the comic on stage is basically eating it, there's no verbal reaction from the audience. Outside, you can hear silence and then raucous applause and cheering, and then silence for like 10 seconds and raucous applause and cheering again. It's like clearly this other room is having so much more fun than we are, and we're the comedy show and they're the boring political.
They're the politics. Yeah. I don't want to get into politics. That's all boring, and that's not fun.
They were having a good ass time. They were real excited.
Good time. Yeah, man. No, it's weird because I didn't realize that you did your tour over Halloween.
I did. Friday night I was in Let's look at we're looking on YouTube at the poster right now.
Yeah.
October 31st, Medford, Oregon. That was the Game 6 of the World Series. That was a tough show.
Yeah,
it was not an easy show.
Because I didn't perform Halloween, and
I did not. If your question is this, I did not get to trick or treat, Jake. Kind of a bummer. I did have to work during trick or treat time.
During the hours, yeah. It's because I didn't perform, and I've heard from comics, and I'm going to get your take in just a second, that you didn't perform, that weekend, the 30th, 31st, 1st of November. You're lucky. Basically,
I think typically it's kind of like having like a big bachelorette party or whatever. Yeah. Sometimes in my experience, it was dead. It was that same 80-person room. Yeah. And there was half the people. There were like 12 people at the show. There were 2 people in costume. They were wearing Pokemon. It was a couple, and they were wearing Pokemon stuff. The woman was Pikachu, and the guy was somebody else. And but they were pretty tame overall. The audience. It wasn't crazy. It was just like it was under the show did not sell very well because of Halloween, probably. But no, there wasn't anything like wild about it. The craziest thing was the weekend before. I already told this story about how I couldn't sleep in my hotel room because these runners in their Halloween costumes were having like a rave by the pool all night. Keeping me up.
You're like, I want to be in my car. Just let me sleep in my car.
Yeah, I know. The night before I slept better in my car. Speaking of, this is a good transition. I survived sleeping in my car in San Francisco, Jake. I did it. I didn't get one of those $1,000 tickets. What's that?
Wow. You slept in your car in San Francisco.
I did. In the Richmond. If anybody's familiar with San Francisco, I parked at an angle right in front of an Ace Hardware store, basically. But it's in everything in San Francisco is kind of like Chinatown or some flavor of Asia town. So like the Ace Hardware sign is in calligraphy or whatever you call. What do you call? It's beautiful.
Calligraphy.
What do you call the Asian letters? It's a different alphabet.
Oh, yeah.
There's got to be a word for that.
Yeah.
Kanji? Maybe it's kanji. I feel like I've heard that. Maybe that's Japanese. I don't know what. I can't read it. I can tell you what. I would not pass a PhD proficiency translation. Can you imagine trying to look up one of those words in a dictionary? It would take me a year.
Yeah.
That'd be so frustrating. That'd make a great reality TV show.
Yeah.
Or that would be such a good Mr. Beast thing.
Yeah.
Who can find this word first in this dictionary?
Yeah.
It would take like 6 months to find because you don't know the order.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That's so funny. That would be such a good prank contest challenge. Anyway, so I park in front of it. This was actually, I'm very proud of what I pulled off. The first night was the scariest night. So one, I'm not sure if I'm going to get like $1,000 ticket. I don't know how this works. So I show up at like 4:00 and I park my car and I pay at the meter until 6. After 6, it's free. Yep. And it's kind of like a commercial street. There's like restaurants and bakeries and this Ace Hardware. And I'm in front of the Ace Hardware and I'm lucky to get the spot. It's like totally packed. And so I park and I just hang out and I walk around the neighborhood. And then I have 2 shows that night. One of them is a 40-minute walk from where my car is. That's the first one. And then the second one is like a 10-minute drive back to that area and only a couple blocks away from where my car is.
Yeah.
So I walked to the first show. That's called Hate and Laughsbury at O'Reilly's Pub. Is that right? No, Abbey Tavern. At Abbey Tavern. And okay show. The showrunner was terrific, Kelly Evans. Very organized, funny, good host. And it ran into Ian Langsland, which is a comedian from San Francisco who just did the Vail Comedy Festival. Super nice guy and very funny. Just coming off a hosting weekend, 6 shows at the Punchline with Andrew Santino. Ooh. All sold out. 6 sold out shows. Can you imagine how fun that would be?
That's fun. Yeah,
that's really cool. As like a legit comedy club. Very exciting. Very cool to see him. And so I do the show, and then there's a guy on the show. I asked the showrunner, I go, hey, do you know if anybody here is going over to Mirthquake and has a car? And he goes, yeah, the comic who's on right before you. And I said, could you introduce me? And his name's John Gab or Gabby, something like that. Also funny and has a car and super nice guy. And I say, hey, would you mind driving me to Mirthquake, which is the second show, which is at O'Reilly's Pub. And so in the middle of the show, we leave the show, get into his car, drive over to the second show, do this Mirthquake, which is such a fun, it's a Monday night show in San Francisco. If anybody's there and just wants to watch comedy, it is silly and crazy. You do stand up, but then there's a gimmick. I know you hate the gimmick shows, Jake, but they got 3 cups. The first cup is it's like a scene. The second cup is a modifier. And the third cup is it's like a paragraph that's funny on a theme. So that night's theme was time travel. So you had to do an impression based on the first 2 cups, like some kind of something like you're getting stung by a bee. And then the modifier is you're paranoid or whatever, and so you have to do an impression at the end of your set, and then you have to read the paragraph. And so it's a quirky, kind of silly Monday night show. And then so I finished that show. I watched the whole show. I stayed till the very end. And then I walk to my car and I am pooped, Jake. I'm so tired. I've been walking all around San Francisco, killing time. And I've gotten a lot of steps in. I'm tired. It's been a long day. It's probably 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night. No, it's got to be at least 11. And so I walk back to my car. There's almost nobody on this street anymore, to the point that I have to check a sign and make sure it's still legal to park. It's fine unless it's Tuesday, 2 a.m. on this street, you can park. So I'm okay. I'd already put up the front, the windshield window blockers. So I get into the car, I get changed, I put up the other window blockers, I go to sleep, I'm in bed 11:30, midnight. I get up at 6:30 in the morning. I did miscalculate that it was a pretty major street. So there were garbage trucks that would roll through and wake me up, loud trucks. That happened 3 or 4 times, but not a huge deal. And then I got up, it's 7 in the morning. I'm good until 8. The meters don't start until 8 in the morning. So I get out of the car, I walk around, I grab a donut or something. And it worked out. It was fine. It was like any other city. I didn't have any trouble. And this was kind of my experience in New Orleans as well, where I was very nervous. I feel like, Jake, if I can sleep in New Orleans, I can sleep anywhere.
I guess, man. I mean, that would be so nervous. So nervous.
I was nervous. I did have a crazy dream that was obvious. I was kind of paranoid, and it felt so real. I was peeking out the window, and they were coming for me.
Yeah. I mean, there's a YouTube guy that I watch, Camping with Steve, and he'll camp in weird spots, and he put a tent in the median or in the roundabout, the middle part of the roundabout.
No way.
And he calls it stealth camping, and it's a gimmick, but the whole time he is so paranoid. He's checks it and rechecks it, and what can people see me? Can people not see me? And he's never gotten caught. No one's ever hassled him.
Right.
He's doing it for years, but he's still. And
I'm a little worried about tonight. Tonight I'm dry. I have a show in San Francisco, And then by the way, let me just say this. San Francisco during the day, absolute nightmare to park downtown.
Yeah.
Like and the signs are so confusing. It's kind of like LA where it's like they have like different times of the day. It's different rules. It's very off-putting and confusing. But I haven't gotten a single ticket, and I've made it. And tonight after the show in San Francisco, I'm going to start to drive to San Diego, and I don't have any idea where I'm going to sleep. I'm just going to go until I'm tired. Probably find some kind of gas station where there are a bunch of semis and park there. But yeah, and then I'm like, this whole thing's over. It's been 18 nights. I only got 2 more nights of shows. Tonight's it's gonna be Friday night and then Saturday night, and then I head all the way back to Denver. And yeah, and I'm up. We'll talk about it in the Patreon, but I'm positive, and I can tell you how much it's an improvement over last Patreon episode.
That's fantastic, man. I'm into it. It's funny that this show is called Mirthquake. I had an improv duo. It was me and one other guy, and we called ourselves Mirthquake. And we performed many times in Denver. We had our own show for a brief time. It's now called Rise, but at the time it was called Voodoo. And we won the they still have this thing on I think it's Saturday nights. They have the duel where it's 2 improv teams, and then a stand-up does stuff while they count the votes. And we won the duel like 4 or 5 weeks in a row. But we were Mirthquake. So
nice. That's crazy. It definitely preceded you, I'm pretty sure, because it's one of the longest running shows in San Francisco.
But
San Francisco more earthquakey.
More earthquakey. I was going for like size and like
Well, anywhere you could be more like Girthquake.
Girthquake, appreciate it. You know, you look like that guy's dad.
Touche. Look that up in your French-English dictionary.
That's right. Oh man, but I had something weird yesterday with a comedy couple. I don't know if you have this in Denver, but there's this couple that comes to so many comedy shows.
I've never seen that. Individuals who come a lot. I've seen that. Well, there was a French mathematician who was with a Brazilian, I don't know what she was, statistician or something. And they go to a lot of shows at that club. But,
this is like their hobby. They go all the time.
That's cool. I think that's neat.
I think it's a fun hobby. Yeah. And they go, they're at different venues. I've seen them at every single comedy venue. They go to Improv as well.
Do they get bored with the openers because they've seen them before?
They've never vocally gotten bored with anybody.
I would think they would. It'd be disappointing when somebody comes. Like that happens to me when I go to Comedy Works. Like, not that I am disappointed to see anybody at Comedy Works, but like when I'm often interested in the local openers, the host and the feature and maybe a middle, and then it will be somebody that I've seen like 500 times and never changes their act, and I'll be like, ugh, I should have come 10 minutes later.
That's right. Yeah, I was probably closer to that category. So last night I was featuring, and we had a pretty good crowd, especially for a Thursday. And so I'm trying to do some good stuff, and I only threw in like 3 or 4 new minutes. But I mean, those new, but the old, they were sitting, and I could tell. I mean, they're right there. And the old stuff, I would tell like one of my old banger jokes right at the top, and they hoot and they start clapping. I'm like, all right, well, we don't need to change anything for you people.
Yeah,
like,
nice.
We're good. Anyway, but before the show, they've come up and we've talked a few times. One time I was performing improv, and and the show went really well. I put on the show, whatever, and I had a couple of really good lines. And improv is a group activity, and it's kind of hard to like single anybody out. But they came up to me after the show, and they were like, "We've seen you do stand-up, and you are so good at improv. This is what you should be focusing on." And I'm like, I got paid $12 for this. Like,
that's incredible. I didn't know anybody ever got paid to do improv.
Yes, I know. I mean, very, very few. I cracked it one time, entire year, performed 83 times. I got paid twice during those 83 performances. So it's pretty rare to get paid, but they tipped and we like split the tips. That's what it was. And it's like, well, I appreciate it that you're good at improv, but you're it's not sustainable. Anyway, last night they came up to me and they said, hey, are you still doing improv? I'm like, yeah, when I can. I get booked a lot, and my troupe has performed without me like 4 or 5 times in a row now. And so, oh yeah, okay, well, we'd like to come see you because your group is pretty good. It's not the best. It's not, there's another group that's a lot better, but I was like, okay, I appreciate it. Like what's that group that? And then the guy forgot the name. He's like, no, what's that group that's better than you? What's that?
Dave was asking you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal.
And I knew what group he was talking about.
Oh no, are they better?
Yeah.
Oh,
but I mean, we've got some guys on our team that have their hearts in the right place, and
yeah, there
you go.
Yeah. So did you watch that movie I recommended to you like 2-3 episodes ago?
Yeah. What was it?
Deep Cover.
Deep Cover. Yeah. I watched Deep Cover.
Should we talk about it in Patreon, or you want to talk about it here?
Either one. Yeah. I liked it.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll talk about it in Patreon. But you liked it. Good to hear.
Yeah, I did.
Let's see what else has been going on. I did all my shows in the Seattle area. Did I tell a story about performing with a 12-year-old?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that already happened. Thank you. Good thing you have better memory than I do. What's a more recent story? Oh, this is kind of crazy, a little crossover. I have a different podcast called Always Bookin Comedy. It runs live on Monday nights at 6:30 p.m. Denver time. And it's only half an hour, and it's once a week, and it's an interview style with a different interviewee each week. And we talk about anything we want, but it kind of tilts towards show running sometimes. And on Always Bookin Comedy about a month ago, we had this kid out of Denver who was a professional skier before he got into comedy.
Weird.
And what's super interesting about him is he has some form of narcolepsy. I don't remember the exact details, but basically he can fall asleep at any time, like unexpectedly. And so like, obviously like driving is a challenge, etc. Doing stand-up comedy, like it's when he's stressed so like stand-up comedy is stressful. So anyway, so he tells this story. He does a better job than I'm doing of it. You can pull up, I'll look up his name in a little bit and find the name. Cole something. So if you look up Always Bookin Comedy, Cole, somebody posted a YouTube comment. So this thing runs on YouTube. You can ask questions live during the episodes. And somebody posted a YouTube comment like this last week, so several weeks after it came out, and said, "You're not going to believe this, but there is a TV episode from the 1970s about a comedian with narcolepsy." And he had like the name of the episode. What? I think I wish I knew. During the next time you tell a story, I'm going to look up some of the details, but just incredible small world. And also an encouragement to anybody listening to this or watching this, get on the YouTube and leave some comments. Let's get some fun comments when Mark and Jake try to make it,
Wow. I mean, a narcoleptic comedian, that is funny. That's interesting. I like the premise. I'm for it. I mean, 70s had some heavy premise things. Like they were like, hey, what if a genie lived with an astronaut? What if, people wanted to go for a day trip and they ended up living on an island forever? Like they had some big concepts in the 70s. So it doesn't surprise me. Like this is that kind of a concept. But the thing that hopefully he addresses, the idea of being a professional skier with narcolepsy seems way more dangerous.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So we talk about all that. We also, he lives in his van and has for like 5 years. He's like every night. That's like next level.
Is this why you like talking to me? Because it's like it's the first time you ever talk to a guy who like has a house. Everybody else lives in a van or sleeps in a car.
So his name's Cole Wetterston, And the episode was in 1983 on Hill Street Blues. The episode was called The Bells of St. Mary's, and it's Belles, which I'm sure you guessed with your French proficiency.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyways, check that out, everybody.
Bells of St. Mary. Bellies of St. Mary.
Yeah. There you
go. There you go. Oh, that's fun, man.
Let's talk about this. The World Series of Comedy opened up registrations for 2026.
Yeah.
And prices went up. I did a little research. It's $85 to register right now, or it was. It might have gone up already.
You did.
There was like an open, an early bird kind of thing last week, and it was $85. And I was like, God, that is so expensive. That's crazy. So I looked up what it was last year. It was $75 last year. I think that's crazy. The Vail Comedy Festival prices did not go up from 2026 back to 2025. So those are open now. VailComedyFestival.com. If you're a comedian, check that out.
I am a comedian, and I have done the Vail Comedy Festival, and I have told every single person that I've ever met that it is the best comedy festival I've ever been to, because you get a lot of stage time. It's a very beautiful city, and I don't know if you guys can still pull this off, but you at least gave me a hotel room.
Yeah, we pay for lodging. We don't really
awesome.
We don't blast that out. Like, you can't really find that out without asking somebody, but I think we say lodging assistance in the marketing to comics. But as it turns out, every year we have paid for hotel rooms for comics. So it's a good deal. I mean, festivals are tough money wise in general, but having your lodging paid for is a big hurdle. So anyways, World Series of Comedy, $85 for the whole year. And the real dagger for me is that my favorite satellite. So anybody who doesn't know, the World Series of Comedy is like a 6-9 month long comedy festival thing with satellite events. There are competitions. You go to comedy clubs around the country for from Wednesday through Sunday. They'll do shows. You get like one show. Maybe if you win a show, you get to go do a second show. You travel there on your own dime. It's very expensive. It's good stage time, but it's very expensive. And you maybe get some good feedback on your comedy. There's definitely some networking advantages. And then at the end of the whole thing, they have this thing called the main event in Las Vegas. It's got all this educational classes you can go to, and you get stage time again in Las Vegas. So questionable. Who knows if it's valuable or not, but I've done it a couple times. I know Jake's done it. And so my favorite satellite is McCurdy's in Sarasota, Florida. It's a great comedy club. Every time I've done it there've been like 250 people in the audience. So we're talking like high quality stage time. I've done World Series of Comedy satellites where there were more comics than audience members. So not worth the trip. And sometimes you don't know ahead of time, but McCurdy's is a lock to be a good show. They know how to get people out. And this year, 2026, next year, McCurdy's is the weekend of Vail Comedy Festival. So I can't go.
No.
So I'm like, should I even do this? Because I like going to the main event, but I also want to go to like at least one other satellite probably. And it's $85. And I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been to McCurdy's. You mean you're kind of talking me into it. But there are a couple of satellites that are close to me. And that's the kind of thing that I think about. Like, I don't know if you're in the same boat, but I have never been rejected from a satellite. Like, every single satellite that I want to get into, I get into.
Yeah. It's really but getting in is like, there are levels to it.
Yeah.
You can have a short set on a Wednesday night, which is more likely to have not a lot of people at it. Or you can immediately be like upgraded to a longer set on Thursday, maybe Friday. I don't know exactly how that works, but more likely to have a good audience. And it's just going to be a better show. The comedians around you are better. And I know you're at that level. I'm at that level too now, where we're getting those primo spots.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is nice.
Yeah. And so, I mean, there's that. There's like
sorry, Jake. I will say that this year that did not translate into the main event. So I was in that category, but at the main event, I ended up doing like a Wednesday 4 p.m. show, and there was like, I don't know, 30 to 40 people in the audience, and that club's pretty big. I mean, they had the curtain closed, but it was not great. It was not. If I was sticking around for a couple of days, it was not worth that show and the cost it would have taken.
Yeah, the main event, the slot that I was given, and I said I can't make it, but was on Monday. I'm like, Monday, and the whole thing goes till Saturday. I mean, that's you only spend a week in Vegas.
Yeah,
I don't like Vegas. I'm not a Vegas guy. Like, I'd spend a week in Branson. I love Branson, but I'm not a Vegas guy. It's not built for guys like me. But the
I think actually I've been to Vegas, and it does appear that it's built for guys
like me,
like you.
Exactly. Well, Branson looks like it's built for guys like you. There are a lot of shows in Branson. Branson is fun. I've got to perform in Branson once.
I have a joke. Come see me live, everybody. I have a joke about Branson. If you request it ahead of time, I will tell it.
But the interesting thing that I did not know until this year, so this is a little bit of inside baseball that not everybody would even know. I didn't know this. I performed at World Series of Comedy many times, did not know this because I never made the top 3. This in one of the satellites. This year, I only performed at 2 satellites, made the top 3 both times. Very exciting. Yay for me. And there's if you're in the top 3, there's an expectation that you'll get a feature weekend, to the point that Joe, the owner of the World Series of Comedy, sends out an email. He blind CCs you on it to say, hey, you did a satellite with the World Series of Comedy. The expectation is that you will give a feature weekend to all 3 of the top 3 finishers. I'm like, I had no idea.
Huh, that's cool.
I got work from it, and I thought it was like, as soon as I walked off stage in this one show in Michigan, the guy's like, hey, let me get your number. Let's figure it out. Let's get you on the dates. Here you are. Boom.
Nice.
The show wasn't even over yet, and he gave me a weekend. I was like,
there you go. It turned into work.
So,
I've had similar experiences. A lot of people don't like the World Series of Comedy. I'm ambivalent to positive on it, and I have gotten work from it. There are national bookers at the main event. There are plenty of comics you can meet with. That we've talked about that Tim guy in Dallas doing a show next year with him. I met him through the World Series of Comedy. That was the worst satellite I ever did, actually. There were only 2 audience members when the show started, and they forced the comics to sit in the show room. So there'd be somebody.
Thanks.
And but I met Tim, and I'm getting some work next year out of it. So he might be listening to this right now. Hello, Tim.
Hey, Tim. Yeah. He's a good dude. So that was interesting. I got one weird one. Let me tell you this weird story.
Okay.
So I'm at this open mic, and this is the second time that something like this has happened. The first time, a very seasoned, funny comedian out of Cincinnati. His name's Dennis Piper. Funny guy, very good comedian. He did something similar, but what he did is he performed on this little showcase. He brings out this pretty expensive looking ukulele, and he straps it on, and then he says, according to my accountant, I can now write off this purchase. And then he takes it off and puts it away, and does not strum the ukulele one time. I love it. I'm into just the ridiculousness of doing that. Well, last night it reminded me, or it was 2 nights ago, reminded me of this. Is this guy who's an open mic? We're at the comedy club. This guy who's not a brand new comedian, but he's starting to book. He's starting to get a little bit of name recognition. He's up and coming. Right. I'd never seen him before. He's out of Lexington. He's holding a backpack. He brings the backpack on stage and pulls out of the backpack a ventriloquist dummy. And at the very beginning of his set, he's got this ventriloquist dummy, walks up to the microphone, and is like, I can't do this. I don't know how to do it. I'm not even gonna try. I'm just holding it. He does a couple of little jokes about having a really creepy doll. The doll's mouth never moves. He never even attempts to do this, and then puts it away and does the rest of the set. Like, so silly, man.
So what are you gonna write off and bring onto stage?
Oh my God, I need to. Yeah. Oh, that's a great. I need to think about that.
You can't. A car wouldn't work. You'd have to crash the car into the club.
Yeah, but
if you sleep in the car,
yeah,
that can work.
You can write that off as my living expense.
How about like a phone you already use for comedy?
Yeah,
maybe a keyboard.
Yes,
some other musical instrument.
Yeah, a musical instrument. I wrote off
your never used notebook. Did you start using it?
I have never used it. Still to this day.
Unreal.
Smells fantastic. It's genuine leather. Fantastic.
Unreal. Start using it. Write some jokes
on there.
Food.
Yeah. But I need to figure out something.
Maybe like a baseball, like a fancy baseball card or something.
Ooh.
Like
exactly. There it is. We have brainstormed
Pokemon card.
Exactly. So Logan Paul, who I'm sure you're a fan of, he has.
How do you know? I'm wearing a Logan Paul hoodie right now.
He has this necklace that's like all gold, all gaudy, whatever.
Okay.
But the medallion at the bottom of the necklace is this, acrylic encased Pokemon card. And like it's a very, very expensive Pokemon. I want to say it's like $150,000, like a super expensive Pokemon card. But like that's the medallion at the end of it. There you go, right? You walk in, you're on stage, you got your Pokemon medallion card. That's now a write-off. Boom.
There you go. It could even be your business card.
That's
on one side. The other side is very expensive.
Okay. I haven't edited the video yet, but I have today did something with my business card, my Pokemon card. I went to the seminary. So I live in Louisville. The seminary that I graduated from is in Louisville. It houses at the big fancy library. It houses my dissertation. Now, my dissertation is okay. It's kind of fun if you're into it. If you like the guy I wrote on, Charles Spurgeon, you would probably like my dissertation. But I tell you this, my preface is fantastic. It is very funny. It is a page and a half long, filled with jokes. You would love it. And you can find it if you just Google my name. It's like one of the first things that comes up is my dissertation, which is a little disappointing. But the I go to the library.
It's even worse for me. You Google my name, the first thing that comes up is some hockey commentator in Canada. The second thing is the CEO of some company, and the third thing is a poet, and then the fourth thing is the comedian.
Golly, that's why it's markmasters.co, right?
Yeah. I think the .com is taken by a DJ who doesn't even come up in the Google results. He's like an English, UK based DJ.
My goodness. So I went to the seminary today, and I checked out my dissertation, which took over an hour to check out my dissertation because it's on a special level. I'm not allowed to go on that level. They have to go get it and bring it back to me.
Okay.
And so I get my dissertation. And
do you not have a copy yourself?
I have a copy. But
okay.
So this is the dissertation that's not allowed to leave this library.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I opened it and I put in the preface, I put my Pokemon business card, and then I gave it back to him.
This is like a Da Vinci Code kind of thing.
I was like, should I put money in it? I've thought about putting money in it for years. But I'm like, this is funnier. This is interesting. So I'm going to put my and so hopefully.
Yeah, because then somebody can contact you too.
Yeah.
Because it's got your contact information.
And it's in the preface page, which if you read the preface,
it's silly.
It all makes sense.
Yeah. That's great. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, for future Bergen scholars, they'll probably watch this episode because if they're that into it to go get the AI is going to be like, this episode discusses. Let's look at the tour poster one more time. See if I'm missing anything. I went to Sunnyvale, California. Did 2 shows in San Francisco. We talked about those. There's Mirthquake and Hate Laughsbury. Oakland, that was Dead Ass Comedy. We talked about that one. San Francisco, California. We didn't talk about that. That was Cheaper Than Therapy. It's a theater show in Union Square. Pretty fun show. Packed, 50 people, and they had a curtain, so there were only like 55 seats. So that was pretty good, except there was a lady asleep in the front row. Never good. She really just had her, even worse than that, she just had her eyes closed because I addressed it and she opened her eyes for a second and then she closed them again. I think she was just very drunk with the situation. And then Oakland, California, that was last night, turned into 2 shows. Nothing too exciting to share. We'll tell a story about that in the Patreon. Don't want to give it away here. And then tonight, I'm doing this secret show in the basement of a Chinese restaurant. And it's going to be sold out for sure. It's going to be awesome. Super excited about that. And then I head off to San Diego, and we got a couple of shows there. So far, so good, Jake. I've been on the road so long that I got a cold, and I think you can probably tell that I still kind of have it, but I'm getting over it. Wow. I don't think that's ever happened for me on the road. Like I usually will I'll get a cold while I'm on the road, and then I'll just keep it all the way until I get home. But
fantastic.
What are you looking forward to? What's coming up for you?
Well, this weekend I'm featuring with Dale Jones, who is
I love Dale Jones.
Great dude.
So funny, so nice. Atlanta area guy.
Yeah, very nice man and very funny. And
where's that?
It's here. It's in
nice.
It's in Louisville, so it's nice. And very, very funny guy. He sells a lot of tickets, which is always fun to do shows with him. And I don't know, man. I don't if you've seen guys like him, guys like Derek Stroop, guys that are perform in a different way. You know what I mean? Like
he's
is
high energy,
manic. Just like the whole time, and the crowd is roaring. They are, and Derek is the same way. This yelling. It's like I'm always thinking like, in order to get that good, do I have to do that kind of performance?
Right. Yeah.
Where my performance is a lot closer to like Jim Gaffigan, which is fairly straight with a couple of little act outs, but fairly straight.
Well, I'll let you know a little secret, Jake. Jim Gaffigan making a lot more money than Derek Stroop or Dale Jones.
Yeah. I'm surprised you told us that on the free podcast. I thought you did that for the Patreon.
Don't even need to save it. Pretty sure you can look that up in Forbes.
Yeah. And then, of course, you got Nate Bargatze, which I'm more high energy than him because he's very on the low side. And he's making more than all of us.
Yeah. So apparently it's not the energy level, Jake.
Apparently it's not. It's something else. It's something else. So.
It's just time, man. It's reps. Yeah, it's reps. You're getting there. You'll get there. You're going to make it.
Yeah, I'm going to make it. That's right. We're going to try, and then we're going to eventually make it.
Yes. Yeah. That's those will be exciting times. That's cool about Dale. I think watching Dale is exciting to me and sobering because it's like, how is he not more famous?
Yes.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I can definitely get better at comedy, but I'm not sure I'll ever be as good at comedy as he is.
Yes.
No matter how long I do it.
Yeah.
He's just at another level. I could possibly be close to him, but it doesn't feel like I could be obviously funnier than him in any world I can imagine. Yes. And he's not a household name. He's not, I'm sure on a long timeline, he's had brushes with fame. He probably had TV pilots or something back in the day. And, he probably does very well, does cruise ships and makes a decent living, but he's pretty, he's a modest fella and at least the way he lives. And
that's the thing that I was kind of walking away from yesterday. So the Broncos were playing last night. It's a Thursday night game. And so I don't get to see a whole lot of Broncos games. So I wanted to go home as soon as I walked off stage. I'm the feature. That's the feature privilege that you can exercise every once in a while. I'm I'm going to be with this guy all weekend. I'll catch the act, tomorrow. But then the stage manager, the sound booth guy, he's like, hey, at the end of the show, can you move this table so that Dale can have the merch? And I'm like, all right.
Was there a host, or were you the host?
There was a host, but it's like while the host is saying good night, move the table. Like I was a little bummed. And he's whispering it this, because the show has already started, so he's like whispering it, so it's not like, hey, I was gonna leave, the Broncos are on, it's been a long week, it's like I'll gladly do it when I'm going to do 2 shows that night, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I had to, I watched his whole set. And as soon as the set was over, I just split so I could watch the Broncos. But the thing that I was also thinking when I was leaving, I was like, sometimes you're hanging out with your headliners and you're like, I was good, the headliner was good, everybody was good.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like, I was okay, but he was amazing. Like, I don't think I should be standing next to this guy.
Right.
So, like, I still had a good set. I'm happy with what.
Yeah. He rules. Dale Jones, everybody. We can't say enough nice things about him. All right, we got to wrap this up. This episode's coming out November 17th. A couple of pitches. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Mark and Jake. Mark with a K, Jake with a K. We got all kinds of great content on there. It's $5 a month. You can watch video versions, or you can listen to audio only versions. You can set them up in your podcast player. I have a monthly newsletter. You can get it at markmasters.co. It's got stories of me being on the road. If you're interested in how I slept in my car in San Francisco, I'm very confident that November 2025's newsletter, which will come out at the end of this month, will have a picture of my car in front of this crazy Asian hardware store that I slept in front of. And what else? Markmasters.co for any kind of booking stuff. I'd love to make you laugh. And I do have some shows coming up this week. On Wednesday, November 19th, I'll be with Graham K in, I think that's in Gypsum, Colorado. Gypsum or Frisco, Colorado. And then Thursday, November 20th, I'm in the other with Graham K. Those are mountain towns in Colorado. And then Sunday, November 23rd, that's this Sunday, coming Sunday, I'm in Castle Rock, Colorado. That's about half an hour from Denver, south of Denver, beautiful community. We're in a great Crowfoot Valley Coffee. Super fun new venue. Going to be our third show there. Second show at Crowfoot Valley, but not our first or not our second in Castle Rock, Colorado. So all tour dates are at markmasters.co. Yeah.
I'm got a couple of private gigs, in Nashville that week. So nothing really you can come out to support, but Jake,
Jake will be there.
Yeah.
Big Jake will be in Nashville. If you need a birthday party or a bachelorette party entertainment, hit him up.
Hit me up in Nashville for sure. So bigjakecomedy.com.
Okay. Hit us up. Come watch the Patreon, everybody. We're about to roll over there. See ya. Have a great week.